Yes, Fallon?
What do you call a pair of wieners that tell time?
Gosh, I don't know.
Watch Dogs 2!
This.
It's dangerous to podcast alone.
I'm one of your hosts, Emma Paquette.
And I'm your other host, Madelyn Paquette.
And today we're here to talk to you about Watch Dogs 2 and Okami.
And man, just like, we haven't talked about it, but like, what a great theme.
Oh yeah, the dog theme.
Oh, it is I mean, it's not literally both about dogs, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I was talking about our great theme song that we sort of haven't talked about. Shout out to Josh Myers for writing, composing, and playing that song.
Thanks so much, Joshua.
So yeah, it is dog themed. And today if you hear any sort of licking noises in the background, we're joined by our own resident dog expert, Cappy.
The dog.
We'll ask him for any insights, but he's likely to just lick his chops and sit on our laps.
Yes.
So, Okami is a game that, like, I've actually probably played more of than Emma.
Yeah,
is that fair?
Has, yeah.
Wow, this is a rare occasion here on Talk This.
I found it highly frustrating, is what I remember. The parts where you had to use calligraphy.
Well, it's a really great and, like, fascinatingly drawn, like, the art. We have to talk about the art of it to start with. That it really is inspired by sort of, like, Japanese traditional art, right? Like,
yeah.
Brush strokes.
What's the one who did the waves? The famous one. Oh,
man. You all know what we're talking about, though. We'll post it. We'll post it on the blog.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have our ongoing series, things that we forgot while we were on the air, but we can give you more information on the blog. It's really just a ploy for you to check out our blog at
www.talkthispodcast.com/blogs.
I think it's like a great use of synergy sort of in-game. Like the whole
synergy.
Yeah. Like $3 word there. No, but like, because the whole game is about art and drawing and that sort of thing, and so then to have the world really reflect that, I don't know, I feel like a lot of video games look the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, things are sort of converging on this realist thing.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think the fact that there's these, like, beautiful landscapes in video games is, like, really fascinating, but I also wish there were more, like,
stylized,
high-profile games that were very stylized, yeah.
And maybe I'm particularly sensitive to this as, like, a theater person who's kind of disillusioned with realism in theater. Mm-hmm. Wow, could that have gotten more pretentious? Wow, I'm kind of disillusioned with realism. Also, I have a beard.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's, and I wonder if video games are going to have that sort of revolution.
Well, no, I think you can find a lot of that in, like, the more indie titles.
Oh, definitely.
Like, the more sort of impressionistic type things. It's just in all the AAA titles, to be AAA, it seems like a requirement is that you also have to be, like, photorealistic.
But I wonder if that will change and when that will like, if we reach the point where video games are so realistic. Like, I think it's still sort of an ongoing struggle right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're still sort of in that. Well, I don't know. I think that Uncharted may have is starting to leap that gap out of Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
Have you never heard of that?
I have not heard of Uncanny Valley.
Okay, so for Emma and for our listeners who've never heard of this sort of phrase before, Uncanny Valley is that place in animation where it's not so unreal and stylized animation looking that it's like, wow, this is really animated. But it's also not real enough yet that it's like, wow, this is real.
I know what you're talking about. I just hadn't heard that phrase before.
So you live in this kind of uncanny valley of like, ooh, this looks pretty real, but like stuff is like not quite right.
Yeah.
And not even in like a chosen way, just in like the animation for this is not quite like real enough to be as real as they think it is. And I think games have gotten past that now, to a certain degree. But I just wish there were more games like Okami that were, like, so interestingly stylized.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just think it's, like, a really engaging and, like, difficult game. But, like, not difficult in a frustrating way. Like, it just keeps going on and on and on. It's, like, this massively long game that never, for me, gets boring. Like, I've never finished Okami, full disclosure. But that's more about, like, me playing it in the summer and not finishing it. Not because I got bored with it. It's just like, oh, I, like, had to leave my PlayStation behind when I went to school. Or, oh, I got so busy. Whatever. You know? I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. Although I do think the, like, kind of sexualized, like, spirit things are a little weird.
Those are a little weird, but not so out of the ordinary in video games.
I know, but they've got, like, such aggressive boobs. Like, that's something I remember very distinctly from Okami, is these spirit women with, like, aggressive boobs.
Yeah.
That's not what the game is about in any way, which perhaps that's why it sticks with me so much, because they've just got a rack. Like,
and doesn't your little cricket companion, like, hit on them all the time,
all the time. All the time. As a female gamer, I felt alienated. I mean, I didn't. I really didn't. No. I was just thinking about that, like, look at us, two ladies talking about video games.
Yeah.
I guess that's not so weird anymore.
It's not that weird. It's not always,
Let us know if we should be including more buxom spirit ladies in our marketing materials. But no, I think Okami is, like, an example of a game where there really isn't anything else like it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any. Well, Scribblenauts.
Scribblenauts.
But even that is, like, nothing like this. Or what's that other game where you have to, like, draw your battle creature?
Draw your battle creature?
You draw your creature and it goes into battle and you fight. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do, but I don't remember.
But see, that's the point, right? Like, if you think of a drawing game, it's Okami. It's, like, the only one that has, like, a really sophisticated system that's interesting. I don't know, I hopefully, and I'll blog about this maybe, about more of the mythology behind Okami, but it seems like it really is sort of based in real life stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's sort of based on, like, sort of the Japanese, like, cultural folk beliefs. I don't know. Is that the right phrase for it?
I hope so. We're not trying to offend anyone.
Well, it's like they have their Shinto religion, right?
Yeah.
With the shrines with the arches, and that sort of stuff. And they have their spirits and demons, or I think they're yokai. Because there's that... there's the new sort of faux Pokemon thing that's Yokai Watch. But anyway, like, that's sort of what this is based in.
But I would love to see more games that do that. Like, we were just talking about, a couple episodes ago, about God of War, right? And how, like, everything is about Greek mythology. It's always Greek mythology. Like, sometimes it's Egyptian mythology, but it is always Greek mythology. Yeah. I think part of the reason why Okami is so refreshing is that it's completely a different culture. And not, like, in a modern way. Like, I feel like there's a lot of games out there that are, like, you know, we're in America, but really it's Tokyo.
Yeah.
But to, like, actually get to, like, experiment with this different belief system, I mean, I'm sure it's incredibly bastardized. But even to just take that as inspiration, because, like, you know, the Greek mythology in God of War, like, God knows that that's not real. I just think it's fascinating, and that, you know, to call on ourselves to, like, examine, like, what we're using as source material and why we aren't using other things. Because Okami is an incredibly creative game. And a beautiful game.
Yeah, it definitely is really beautiful to watch. I really liked Madelyn. I would get frustrated sometimes with the calligraphy bits, but I really enjoyed just watching Madelyn play it, just because, like... And, like, it was, like, really, like, the sound... I remember the sounds were, like, really beautiful, too. Like, there were sort of, like, paper swishing sort of sounds.
I feel like there's not a lot of value placed on, like, beautiful games. Like, not beautiful as in, like, wow, like, those beautiful graphics quality.
Well, I'm not even sure that's true. People are, always get very excited about, like, Journey and, Flower, and they just, that, I think... was Abzu by that game company? Maybe not, but it was, like, sort of a similar vein of sort of, like, just exploring and, like, simple puzzle solving, and that sort of stuff.
But I feel like Okami has like a very like a rich. It's enjoyable to play, not just because it's. I feel like we don't see very many games. Sorry, I didn't finish like 2 thoughts there. I feel like we don't see very many games that are both beautiful and satisfying to play.
Again, I would point to Journey.
I have no idea what that is. So
it's one of the video games that Smithsonian put into their art installation for video games.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was like a few years ago.
Wow, I'm really behind.
Yeah. But we Journey is like it's sort of it's an experience, you know, like it's enjoyable to play, but it's sort of like you do it all in one sitting, and like a lot of the time, like you can join up with one other person on the PlayStation Network, but there's no identification type things. Mm-hmm. So you and this other mystery person are just going around like exploring and
that's neat,
doing puzzles, and you can only communicate with this like weird chirping sound.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. That game company makes some very interesting, like simple but like interesting games. You didn't. I guess it was just me and Dad who played Flower.
No, yeah, I don't remember that.
So that's also one of their games where you're like a flower petal, and you go around and you like collect other flower petals, and you're sort of like in this. It's like sort of about environmentalism, I guess. Like you're in this beautiful landscape, and then sort of this infrastructure comes in and ruins it, and then the last one is like how like nature and infrastructure can coexist.
Do you shoot anyone, though?
No. You're a flower petal.
Then what's the point? Actually, you know what would be a great game that could sort of combine that sort of environmentalist point of view with, like, what we want to play as gamers?
What?
The Lorax Unleashed.
Oh my god.
Like, play as the Lorax as he speaks for the trees.
Yeah.
With his gun.
Honestly,
he's like,
though,
here's what I've got to say.
The Lorax emerges from the forest and takes revenge on the humans who cut it down.
You know, I guarantee Dr. Seuss would be cool with that.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure
like
he
very
would.
dark as a person.
He really was.
When he's not Dr. Seuss. So, again, bonus game idea from the Piquettes. Not just your end of episode game, but bonus little mini game.
Yeah.
The Lorax Unleashed. He speaks to the trees. Coming to a console near you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Okami. What does Okami mean?
I don't know.
It's gotta mean something, right?
I think Kami is God.
Oh, okay. That would make sense, because you are God.
Yeah.
Omatsu, right?
So, some sort of God.
Yeah. Okami it's kind of a weird case in that it's, because it's released on the PS2.
Yeah.
But also on the Wii.
Well, I guess that's because of the drawing system.
No, but that's what I was going to say. I think that Okami is, like, definitely kind of a natural fit for the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And there are not very many games that are a natural fit for the Wii. Right? Because it's like, there is some combat, but it's pretty simple. Like, the combat system is not complicated.
Yeah.
So you don't need, like, a full-on controller with all the triggers and whatever to be able to do the combat. Which is a plus in my book, because I'm not very good at complicated combat systems.
Yeah. Or simple ones.
But it also makes the drawing, like, that much more immersive and tactile and, like, real. I don't know, again, it's like, it's frustrating that there aren't more games that figure out a way to thread that needle.
Yeah.
Because the Wii is not inherently a bad system. Like, it was really the first to, like, get that motion controller thing going in a way that was usable.
Well, I guess that's where, like, sort of whatever virtual reality is going to learn from is, like, sort of the different experiences of successful games on that system and how it can be brought into a more immersive experience.
I just think it's disappointing that there weren't more Wii games that weren't, like, Nintendo standbys. Or that took risks. Like, are there any, like, indie Wii games?
Well, and I doubt it, no. Indie has only sort of resurged in, like, the last 5 years, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, there always were indie games, but there weren't as many ways to distribute them.
That's true, yeah. With the rise of sort of downloadable content.
Yeah.
Still, though, I just think it's a waste. As someone who, like, owns a Wii, you know, as someone who that was our third generation system for many years.
Yeah.
I just feel a little bit cheated.
Oh, well.
Let bygones be bygones, I guess. And weegons be weegons.
Weegons be weegons.
I wonder if they had to bring in, like, different kinds of designers to work on this game. On Okami, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess different artists.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's some artists with more rounded skill sets, but,
yeah.
I mean, there are artists who, like, there's still cartoony games, you know? So there's artists who do that, and there's artists who do the photorealism, and there's artists who do, the other stuff, I guess.
What do you think about the movie possibilities from Okami?
The movie possibilities?
Yeah. We love adapting games into movies. It's very hip, it's very in. Do you think it could be a good movie?
I don't know. Maybe like a Studio Ghibli film. The Tale of Princess Kaguya, for the 5 of you have seen that or even heard of that movie, is one of their like last films by Isao Takahata. And it's sort of also in the calligraphy, old Japanese art style, which I think made it like a hugely affecting movie, because otherwise it was kind of long and kind of plodding, but just like this art style and the way they used it to like make emotions more potent was very interesting. So I think they would be up to tackling the task of putting this to film. But it'd definitely be an animated movie.
Yeah.
You could also go for the Kubo and the Two Strings stop motion venture.
Are there like stop motion video games?
I don't think so. That would be very hard.
But like, how cool?
That would be basically impossible.
Like, probably not worth it, but I just think stop motion is so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like you're just there, like, slowly moving your clay figures all day.
Yeah.
I'd go insane, but I think it's fascinating. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Wallace and Gromit, the video game? I bet you there is one. I'm sure that there is one.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been stop motion. Sellouts.
You know, as much as I liked Zootopia, I honestly think that Kubo is more technically impressive. Just because, like, I mean, I feel like I read that it's all stop motion, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about, like, origami.
Ooh.
Kind of. There's all these, like, origami scenes where there's, like, little origami figures, like, acting out different things, and it's, like, got some musical effects, too. And it's just, like, how did you even do this? Like, there's a scene at the end, there's, like, some dragon that they fought, and so, like, at the end of the credits, like, they're showing you sort of, like, how they, like, did it, and there's just, like, this big dragon thing, and they have to just move it a little bit with, like, the little things moving. It just, like, it's a crazy, crazy thing to take on, and, like, I feel like Disney just does the same animation style for every single one of their movies. Like, I know that they're like, oh, now, like, the hair is so much more well animated. It's like, well, okay, but, like, do I really care? No.
We're big proponents of experimentation here at Talk This.
Yeah, I don't like the giant eyes, like, weird computer animation that Disney does. Like, it was kind of neat when it was just Pixar doing it, you know? But I think the hand-drawn style is just so much more, like, beautiful. I don't know. You know, it makes it feel more, like, sort of fairy tale-esque rather than just, like, quirky girl goes out and saves the world. Oh.
Although, I don't know. Like, in video games, I would take more quirky girl goes out and saves the world.
Well, true, but...
Girl. I'd take more if there's a girl.
Girls can be bros, too.
That is something that, okay, like, not to say that, like, girls can't play Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, girls can't play guy games, and guys can't play girl games, or that there is such a thing as a guy and a girl game. But taking as given the society that we live in, and that we have not yet transcended girl toys and boy toys.
Yeah.
In our sort of cultural nexus, how many more, like, buzzwords can I throw into that sentence? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Progressive. But I think Okami is great at being a game for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily gendered in a way you might...
I don't think it's gendered. I don't think it's, like, aged.
Yeah.
Like, I could imagine, like, grandparents playing Okami. But as much as I could imagine 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
I mean, 10-year-olds might not be good at the game.
Yeah.
Like, we certainly
or
aren't.
Or grandparents.
But like, it's a game that I can imagine everyone playing and everyone finding some appeal in. Like, it's
Yeah.
satisfying. I don't know. Where are the... maybe we're moving towards, like, a lot more, like, niche games.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's interesting that there's a game that has such broad appeal.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of timeless. Like, that's sort of another nice thing about the stylized animation, is that it doesn't date itself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if I booted up Okami now, I'd be like, oh, it's kind of pixely.
Yeah.
Like...
But yeah, when you're not going for realism, I feel like your graphics last a lot longer.
Yeah.
In terms of generational things.
It just holds up better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see more games do that. I'm trying to think of a good snack to eat while you're playing Okami.
Bugs.
Bugs.
I don't know, your
Buxom
bugs.
bugs.
Cricket friend.
Only well-endowed bugs, though, folks.
Big-bottomed ants.
I like big bugs, and I cannot lie. Those other
No, I don't
buggers
know.
can deny.
Like red berries.
Yeah, it's like something very colorful.
Yeah.
Like an acai bowl that you've, like, painted on top. Or a rainbow bagel.
Not a rainbow bagel.
I mean,
definitely something like fruit, you know?
Yeah.
Like
some
some
very
exotic,
wholesome.
exotic fruit.
Papaya, dragon fruit.
Yeah. The spiky one.
That or dog... Oh, no, wait. In the game, you, like, eat.
Do you eat?
Yeah, because you, like, eat stuff to, like, recharge. And, like, there's the people that make soup.
Oh, yeah. Soup would also be good.
The soup feels restorative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you just, like, feel good about yourself playing this game. You're like, this is not a... Like... This is a game, not that I really believe that games have the power to, like, make you do evil.
Yeah.
But, like, this is a game that, like, makes you want to go out and, like, paint.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you play this game and you're like, wow, like, I should
And,
learn
like,
how
you
to
have
do
to, like,
watercolor.
help that hapless guy all the time, right?
Yeah, oh, the warrior guy!
Yeah.
You just feel like a good person.
Yeah.
You feel like, maybe I should become a wolf.
Or a watchdog.
Wow. Yeah, speaking of games that, like, don't make you feel like a good person.
Watch Dogs makes me feel like a really terrible person. I just take everyone's cars.
Fun fact, when Emma was playing Watch Dogs 2 for the very beginning, there was like some kind of glitch in her game or something where she couldn't talk to it. Like, who was the guy you had to talk to?
It was like a side quest that was part of a main mission. So I had to talk to this guy who would give me my side quest, and the option just wasn't going up. So I accidentally, I kept pressing all the buttons, and one of them is the punch button. So I accidentally punched, a couple women in the face. Just out of frustration.
That's something you'll never do in Okami.
Nope.
But then the guy was just like, what are you looking at, punk?
I know, he's like, step off, man. I'm like, you have something to say. Let me speak to you.
I don't really understand game glitches.
Yeah. Apparently it's something that sometimes happens and you just have to, reset it.
But why?
I don't know.
What happens that makes something not appear that needs to appear?
Something in the code, not moving forward or something. I don't know.
But if the code is always the same, why doesn't it always move forward?
Because it, accidentally skips over something.
Update on my coding lessons. Still haven't gotten to understanding this.
Yeah.
My basic HTML works the same every time I go to it.
Yeah.
H1. Hello, world.
Uh-huh.
So tell me more about Watch Dogs, because I've watched you play a little of it, but not that much.
So Watch Dogs 2 is not a direct sequel, but it takes place in the same world and happens after the events of the first Watch Dogs, which I think came out last year. That sounds
That's
like
a quick turnaround.
Ubisoft puts out one game in each series every year, right?
Yeah.
It might have been 2 years ago, but I don't remember, because I didn't play the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is very depressing, from what I've heard. Sort of just dark and dreary and, really awful, really, was nihilistic the right word?
Nihilistic?
Nihilistic the right word, and sort of misogynist and, all of these different things. You're just, this broody white guy, hacking things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of an emotionally abusive sort of dude. And they sort of changed the tone entirely on this one. I'm pretty sure that first one was set in Chicago. And then this one is set in San Fran. And you're this sort of hip black dude named Marcus right?
You steal a lot of cars.
You hack, and you were, like, arrested when you were younger, and you had to do some juvie for a crime that you didn't commit, because in Watch Dogs, the whole city is wired on this system that sort of monitors all of your behaviors and, like, sort of measures, like, your likelihood to commit a crime or your likelihood of committed a crime. So the system sort of picked him out as, like, the perpetrator of a crime.
Wait,
and arrested him based only on that.
There's some book that's like that.
I'm sure there is, yeah. But this is after that, and you become sort of like a hacker who wants to, like, sort of take down the system. So you end up, like, your first mission is, like, your recruitment thing for this group called DedSec. That wants to, like, sort of take down the government, mostly through acts of sort of random chaos. Mm-hmm. But it's, you know, like, it's about as diverse as you can get, right? You get your black dudes, you got the dude that wears the mask all the time, you got your girl, you got your sort of autistic boy in your hacker group.
Like a savant?
Sure.
Okay.
And then, but it's also open world in San Fran, right? So you can do what you do in any open world game, which is mostly still cars.
That's mostly what I took away from this game.
Well, I can't drive in this game, okay? I'm, like, the car goes too fast. I don't know how to drive it not, like, really fast. And, like, the other cars don't go fast. And sometimes you're trying to swerve around it, but there's a car coming from the other direction. So, in conclusion, I'd be really bad in a car chase. But essentially that's what I did until I got my little, what are they called? They're not motorcycles, they're the little ones.
Vespa.
Vespa. I liked the Vespa. I could drive very well on the Vespa.
The least badass vehicle. You're like,
it's like a little,
like, I'm a tough hacker.
I found a little yellow Vespa.
Let me meet you on my Vespa.
Yeah, but essentially I've learned that I'm really sort of not good at this game, right?
I feel like this is a lot of the lesson of the
I'm not good at being stealthy, and I don't have very good aim, and it gives you a non-lethal option in your stun gun, which I like, because I don't like just randomly killing people who are people, you know, not just, like, zombies or whatever.
Yeah, they have, like, full-on, like, conversations.
Yeah.
Just, like, people sitting around.
I mean, they do in other games, too, but you feel more like they're actually evil. Like, in The Last of Us, you sometimes shoot people, but, like, they, like, are trying to kill you and, like, steal your stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So you feel justified in this. These people are just, like, there as security, guarding, like, this, like, script that you want to, like, defile in some way. So I feel bad using an actual gun, but the stun gun takes so long to reload. You only get one shot before you have to reload. And I'm not a very good shot. So it's a little frustrating.
So goodness doesn't pay.
Honestly not. It would be much easier, I think, if I actually had a gun.
How does that make you feel about yourself, like, morally?
What?
That it would be easier if you had a gun, but you're choosing the stun gun.
I don't really feel like anything. I don't know. I mean, it's a virtual thing, right? So if I shot these virtual people, like, it doesn't do anything to me morally. I just sort of like the idea of their... Okay. I feel like it fits better with, like, their modus operandi.
But, like, let me raise a question to you. Ender's Game. You know when in Ender's Game... The classic Orson Scott Card book. Orson Scott Card, who is a terrible human being.
He really is a terrible human being, but Ender's Game would not let you know that.
Yeah. Like, he writes great books.
Ender's Game is about being, like, accepting even to aliens.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what's wrong with
Sometimes I wonder if maybe the aliens took over this guy. Anyway. If you're listening, Orson, we love your work. Sorry about that. But, like, your work is great.
Yeah. But, yeah, that, I guess, was, like, he was told it was a video game, sort of, like a simulation, but then it ended up being real.
Yeah.
In a part of it.
And it, like, destroys him.
Yeah, but, like, Watch Dogs, like, this, of course, this isn't real.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
Okay. Okay.
How would you feel? Like, if you were playing a video game and then you, like, after, like, doing something, like, save the world, you realized that it was real and you killed tons of people, how would you feel?
That's sort of a difficult question to answer.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, not in the state, just because it's so incomprehensible to think about.
Can't even imagine.
But I do think this, like, They really tried so hard, Ubisoft, and I think that it's great for that, to make this, like, a game that sort of tries to understand the social issues of today, right? Like, in your first mission, essentially what you're doing is you're erasing yourself from, like, your profile from this online thing that collects everybody's profile.
Yeah.
And, like, it pulls it up, and you see all of your, like, offenses in this, like, traffic stop, broken taillight, traffic stop, you know, because you're a black guy. And your threat level is, like, at, like, 80%, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Why am I at 80%? And, like, that's, like, relevant. But it's, like, it tries a little too hard to be cool, also. I mean, they just, like, they go a little too far with it. They're a little too heavy-handed with it. It's like, oh, we know so much about the social issues, you know?
I think we have to start there, though.
Yeah.
Because, like...
and I was reading something, too, is there's, like, a character that dies, near sort of the middle end of the game, that your character had been, like, close with, and had, like, felt, like, understood and that sort of thing. And then that character is sort of never brought up again, throughout the course of the rest of the game. I haven't gotten that far yet. But apparently it's sort of, like, disorienting for people, particularly when the rest of the game had tried so hard to make this, like, effort of, like, friendship and, like, understanding, like, these issues.
Yeah.
That suddenly that's just, like, thrown out the window for some, like, weird personal vendetta thing, and then nothing after that.
Why do you think there aren't very many games that... I mean, maybe I'm wrong and I'm just not aware of them, but I feel like there aren't very many games that try to engage with social issues.
I think that's probably fair. At least not, like...
Is that coming? Or will that ever come?
There's still, like, there's the perception in all entertainment mediums that diversity just doesn't sell very well, right?
Yeah. But that's not even what I'm talking about. Like, diversity... Like, obviously, I think that we both agree, and hopefully most of you agree, that diversifying who the protagonists are and what kind of stories we tell in our video games is something that we would like to see. Mm-hmm. Particularly in games where it doesn't matter very much.
Yeah.
Like, of course I want to see stories that are focused on what it's like to be a woman, or black, or Hispanic, or gay, or whatever, and where those are part of the story.
Yeah.
But if we can't have that, like, let's at least, like, you know, rotate the skin color of our Halo dude.
Yeah.
Not that you can see that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just mean that there aren't games... Like, I'm thinking about this, like, once again, Madelyn drops the theater person card, right? But, like, there's a lot of talk right now, and probably through the next 4 or 8 or however many years, over what the place of performing artists is in society. Mm-hmm. And I think that the place is to comment and to make our views known and try to make art that has something to say. And of course that's what I think. Like, I've been trained in that. I don't think I'm wrong, but you're welcome to argue with me if you like. But there are also plenty of people that think performers in movies, in television, on stage, whatever, that our job is to entertain you. And you get to turn us off. You don't care about what we're saying. Like, celebrities should not make their political opinion known. They should not use their soapbox for that kind of power. Our job is to entertain, which I don't like to consider myself a jester or a trained monkey, and perhaps there is more nuance to that view, but I don't think that there really is. So I'm just wondering if that political streak is going to come to video games.
I mean, I think maybe. Especially in smaller games, there's a lot more room sometimes for explorations of different topics, when they're not trying to turn a large profit or anything like that. And I feel like even if they're not exploring social issues, a lot of AAA games, like, are attempting to have more story and, like,
I guess that's true.
Character reasons.
I guess we're still trying to get to, like, is there a plot?
Yeah, but also, like, that's not to say I think there's necessarily anything wrong with playing a game that doesn't really do anything.
Oh, and that's not what I'm saying. Like, there's
watching a movie that doesn't really do anything.
There is a place for escapist entertainment. That's not what I'm saying. Like, definitely. Like, of course, I watch a lot of trash, and I play a lot of old games that are trash. I mean, they're not trash, but they're no other point than to just entertain myself. I'm not looking for them to teach me anything.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And people should watch those, and people should play those, and they should not feel guilty about that. You get to use your entertainment for whatever. I just feel like there aren't very many video games that seem to even be attempting that. The video games, at this point, seem very focused just on the escapism, and maybe that's just because they're like a kind of young art form. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'd be interested, because Watch Dogs is like the first game that I've heard of, at least as someone who, is only quasi up on video game news, that really seems to be attempting to say something current.
Yeah.
I'll be watching closely to see if that, particularly in our current political climate, if that becomes something, if that changes.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's definitely unique in that it's trying to make a statement, or not even, I don't think it makes a statement, but I think that it's, like, frank about what the realities are like of living in a city and being these people, right? Even if it's sort of dramatized, but you're in this like super hip hacker group and there's this weird government watchdog situation going on. But I do think, I think a lot of video games are sort of focused, the ones that aren't focused on escapism are focused on like making you feel rather than making you understand or learn. Mm-hmm. They want to like make you emotional from the story, and sort of understand something about yourself or about other people in that way, mm-hmm. but not necessarily engaging with like the modern current political climate.
Yeah, I suppose it's difficult with the schedule, like how video games are produced. Like if you're making a really big game, you have to have been planning this, building this for years. So I imagine it's difficult to really engage with anything current. Or like super current.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if we're moving more towards sort of installment kind of gaming, maybe that will change. But just interesting. Just something, I don't know, been thinking about with Watch Dogs.
Mm-hmm. But again, I think you can find a game for almost anything you could want. Like, it's all out there. You just have to be willing to go and look for it in all the different places that people can distribute games nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Are there dogs in the game?
Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Apparently. Because it says there are, like, guard dogs. Like, they have, like, little hint things on the loading screen where it says, like, guard dogs can smell you even if you're out of their sight line, so watch out, or whatever, And I definitely, like, even if I ever turned to lethal force in this game, could not shoot a dog. I have to stun a dog.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah. We have 3 dogs.
Yeah, we would not be able, like,
they're not guard dogs by any means, except when it comes to Lamb Dog, who is Kathy's
their nemesis.
Mortal nemesis in the neighborhood. But yeah.
As a Mr. Robot fan, do you see parallels in Watch Dogs?
No.
No.
I would say well, yeah, kind of. I think Mr. Robot is more in the first season at least. I don't know. I guess they're both hackers.
They're both. Well, yeah, that's why I asked.
I mean, hacking in Mr. Robot is obviously a lot more realistic than in Watch Dogs, but that's sort of like hand-waved by the fact that there's this system that's linked into everything, right?
Yeah.
Your phone is linked into the internet, is linked into the traffic system, is linked into the government computers. So there's like sort of that connection there, which I suppose is why you can sort of like just click on your phone a little bit and like things will change.
Yeah.
And also Mr. Robot, especially in recent seasons, has gotten a little bit, like, caught up in its craziness.
Yeah.
But there is this similar idea of, like, this clandestine hacker group that wants to sort of expose something bigger than them.
So how do we mix these games?
Hack the gods.
And how would that gameplay work, Emma? Just explain it to me.
It's like magic hacking.
Magic hacking?
You have to hack into their brains and, like, take them down because they're being
This has
tyrannical.
nothing to do with Okami.
No, there's the little spirit ladies. They've gone crazy. They're controlling the world, and it's bad, and the people are suffering for it. So you have to go in and like hack your way to them, to take them down.
That's interesting. I kind of want to avoid the spirit ladies.
They don't have to be the actual spirit ladies, but that's sort of the concept, you know?
Right. You know what the concept of the spirit ladies is, though?
Boobs.
It's boobs. You might as well call that hack the boobs.
Hack the boobs. I'm sure that would sell really well.
They've got robotic boobs, and you have to hack into the system. The motherboard.
I would buy that game. No, I wouldn't.
I don't think I could support that.
Honestly, if I got the chance to play it, I probably would.
And
I wouldn't bring it into my house.
You've got a special controller.
Wait. Actually, I should share. My mom bought me Watch Dogs 2 for Christmas because she thought it was about dogs. She didn't even look at it. She just saw it on my wish list and said, "Dogs? Dogs are cute. Let's buy it."
I would play a Nintendogs hacking game.
Hack the dog.
Like, you're a dog, but you're a hacker. You're like a talking dog.
Super smart hacker dog.
The game.
The game.
That would be good. That would be okay. Like, that could be an Okami mix. You know, be like super smart hacking wolf.
Super hacking wolf.
No, I feel like you have to work in the, like, drawing.
To hack, you have to draw things.
That makes no sense. It's like, you're an artist, and a wolf.
Okay.
Well, I have nowhere to go from there. You're a wolf artist, and you have to steal cars. That's pretty much what I took away from Watch Dogs. No, it's like, you're a wolf hacker, okay? But, like, everyone discriminates against you, because you're a wolf. And they're like, wolves can't hack. Like, threat level 1,000. You're a talking wolf. We don't want your kind here. And to prove yourself to them, you have to draw. That really fizzled out. That really just fizzled out. It was like good. Okay, so like you're a wolf and they're discriminating against you, and you have to persuade your buxom boss that you're worthy of being here. That was another Okami thing. And to do that, you have to go on like a journey to hack into a Japanese like a monks.
Hack into the monks.
No, just listen to me. There's monks. And you have to hack in. It's not really monks. Like, their front is like that they're monks, and they.
But they're really
do, like,
gangsters. They're really the Yakuza.
Yeah. And it's revealed halfway through the game that, like, you got the favor of the gods.
Just they randomly show up. Hey, bro, I'm cool with you.
These games should not mix very well, because like I really want to keep the gameplay of Okami. That doesn't correspond to hacking at all.
Well, maybe you're like a samurai, right? And it's open world, and you have to like you're a what are the samurai called that don't have a ronin, right? They don't have a master, because you were like shoved out by your master. And he's, like, trying to take over all of Japan. And you have to, like, manipulate your environment to stop it.
Oh, I know. We don't need hacking at all, right? Because, like, really what they are is kind of like a cyber terrorism group, right?
Yeah.
Like, they just, like, they're, like, anonymous, right? They just, like, kind of fucking with people.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a graffiti game.
There you go.
You just go around, like, tagging things with, like, loser and a beautiful flower.
Okay.
And it's called, graffiti flower.
Graffiti flower.
I'll come up with a better name, like a fun name. But that would be great, a graffiti game.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You could play that on the Wii.
Yeah. He's really obsessed with the Wii. You could play that on the virtual reality. Nobody's making games for the Wii anymore because it is 3 systems back.
You can play it on the Switch.
Okay.
I don't really know.
I don't think the Switch has a motion controller.
Yet.
Okay.
They will make one for Graffiti Flower.
There you go.
The game.
There you go.
With the bonus expansion pack, the Lorax Unleashed. But yeah, that's what it is. You're the Lorax, the Japanese god, the Lorax. Duh, little known fact. And you go around tagging people with trees. And then eventually it's revealed that there we go. Oh man, guys, here's
Tagging
the game.
people with trees?
Shh. Here's the game.
Oh, you're spray painting trees on them. You're not like, tag! Here's a tree!
No, but that's a good game too. No. You're a graffiti artist. And it's revealed halfway through the game, like, you never see the graffiti artist, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's like a first-person
It's a
game.
wolf.
It's a wolf. But then you realize you're a wolf god, and your graffiti can come to life.
You're the graffiti god.
And you save the trees.
The
and
GG.
You have, like, a romance with the Lorax.
Okay.
It's a crossover.
Wow. That was beautiful. Got a lot of game ideas in this one. All something.
Really bad.
All are something. All exist.
Guaranteed to sell one copy.
To me.
Yeah.
And Madelyn, because we wouldn't buy more than one.
Yeah.
Because why would we do that?
We share a system.
Yep. You can have multiple saves these days.
Yeah. Wow.
That was, yeah. That didn't work very well.
So on that, very green. Oh, you'd also only graffiti in green, because you're green.
Oh, yeah, because you're into the environment.
On that very green environmental note, that's been this bi-weekly edition of Talk This.
I'm one of your hosts, Emma Paquette.
I'm your other host, Madelyn Paquette. Remember to subscribe to us on iTunes. Check out our website for bonus content. We seem to have promised like 3 blogs during this episode, so those will be up sometime. You can also check out the fact sheets for these things that I have slaved away researching. And Emma has occasionally contributed a little bit too when she's played the game and I haven't. Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram. Now that I've promoted all of our social stuff, we're going to pick our next episode's game. So am I picking old or new?
Madelyn's picking the new game.
I'm always picking the new game because I won't know what it is when I pick it.
Which is funny.
Alright. Our game is, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I've actually heard of this one.
So we'll be talking, I guess, a little bit about virtual reality next time we're with you.
Yeah, I already have a joke in mind for this game, so get ready, folks.
Alright, and then I'm picking the old game. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Wow. Emma's been waiting.
I love these games. Through all means that are against me to not like these games, I love these games.
And who would have thought a bird would make such a great lawyer?
Oh my god. Alright, thanks for listening, as always.
Have a great day!